Hello everyone, and welcome to Still in Canada. And this is the YouTube channel of starting, learning, and growing into becoming a distiller. And in my adventures and learning process throughout this whole thing. Now we're going to step back for a bit. We're going to start back at the beginning and hopefully be a little more concise about what we're doing. You saw me stumble through everything. Now I have a little more knowledge and should be able to go through this a little bit better this time around. Stay tuned and we'll get going. Alright, so one of the first things we want to do is, and I hear it a lot, is what type of still should I have? Do I need a pot still, rectifying column? There's the gambit of that. Should I put in thumpers? And the answer is really up to you and how far you want to go. And I do have opinions on certain things, once again, and we'll get through that as we go along. But really the decision you've already made. You already know what you want it for a still. And that's a very simple way to figure it out. Over the time, you've built a little bit of a liquor cabinet. You know what you like, you know what you enjoy drinking. So that's where you start. Open up your cabinet. Now, we're at the distillery today, so this isn't my home cabinet, but this is the one I have here. So if I open this up, I'm going to look into here and see what I've got. Because these are all done differently to some degree. So this is actually going to tell me what type of still I really desire. So as I look through here, I've got some moonshine, liqueur, some scotches. Okay, so a moonshine, there's a pot still. You can do a small column still, but in this particular case, this one, this one, this one, this one, they're straight pot stills. The whiskey, the rye, they're going to be, these are going to have a bit of a column still, so there'll be some rectification going on. The scotches, pot still again, usually done stripping runs and then done spirit run. So we'll see some of that. There's vodka in the back. Vodka would definitely be a column still. And here's a mellow corn. Remember, distillery. Just want to check a few things out. Also in here we have Glava and quite a few other liqueurs. So with liqueurs, you have to actually figure out what you want. You can either go with a vodka style or an Everclear, basically a very clean spirit, and then you add liqueur to it. I'm not so much that. I do love liqueurs, and I do have a certain amount in here that I really enjoy. But I want a liqueur that's going to have the flavor of my spirit. So basically I'm going to do a moonshine or a white dog, which would be an all-grain mix, for me anyways. It'd be an all-grain mix that's young, hasn't been barreled. So I want that flavor in my liqueur. I want it to be specific to our distillery and to what I make. I want it to be my flavor. So when I do something like an apple pie, so here we have Murphy's Law Distillery, and this is their apple pie moonshine, and it is quite good. But the nice thing about this is it's not just apple cider, apple juice, some nutmeg, and a few other spices in here. You can actually taste the moonshine in it. So on this, no one else is ever going to make this exact recipe because it's pretty hard to make his type of moonshine. It's specific to him. He knows his recipe for that. So would I ever try to copy this? Not one bit. I wouldn't want to be anything like this because it's not mine. This belongs to Murphy. I want something that belongs to me. So, but I will say I do like Murphy stuff, so I have quite a bit of it in here. And there's a lot of other stuff. There's a caramel. We have some Dillon's here. Dillon's Haskap liqueur. So this is out of their, I won't say moonshine, this probably clarified a little bit more, but not quite a vodka. And then they add the flavoring to it to make the liqueur. So, you know, once again, we go with that style. So, what type of still do I need? Or what type of still do you need? You already have the answer. Look in your liquor cabinet, look on your liquor shelf. Look at what you buy and what you enjoy. And there's also, there is the, there is what you drink on a daily basis, or however often you do. There's your special occasion stuff. And then, you know, it's your dream stuff. So I wouldn't aim for your special occasion, and I wouldn't aim for your dream. Aim for what you're doing on a daily basis, or weekly or monthly, or whichever you choose. And that's what you should be going after. In that, once again, you decide what you want in your still. And we'll walk you through some of those choices. Right? Stay with me, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So, remember this guy? You've probably seen him before. This was at my friend's distillery, and now it's here at ours because we're legal here now. So, when I first decided to build my still, and I wanted to build my first one because that's what I learned. And, you know, would have been more cost effective to buy these parts? Oh, definitely. If anybody wants a link, just contact me. And definitely some of the people I deal with in China make a quality product. I'm not endorsing anything, make a quality product at a whole lot cheaper cost. I definitely could have saved a lot of money not building this myself. I could have gotten a better still for a lot less money, and you're actually going to see it shortly. But I wanted to do this. I wanted to learn. And so what I did is I used a keg, a converted keg. It's electric. You could make it gas. You know, put a hot plate underneath or a flame underneath. I wanted electric. It was just safer and it was easier, and there was some requirements for where I was going to be using it. So I should have made a bigger opening here. This is a looks like a 3-inch or a 4-inch, could be 4. Bigger one here would have been nicer, just to get in and clean out a little better. When I designed what I wanted here, I wanted something that would be multiple uses. So I can go with just a straight column, and you've seen that in the past, and I'll see if I can dig up some pictures. So a straight column, I could put in a washer with a screen into it, and then put rationing rings in, or put in a copper wool, and that would still give me my pot still with just 1 or 2 plates, or ideal plates. In this one, and you'll see in another video, I made the bubble plate chambers. They were fairly cost effective, easy enough to do, and I have 6 of them. So, and I've used all 6 to clarify spirits. Then we have the top cap, and we drilled that through for a temperature sensor to run our PID controllers. And I have my little deflag here. I had a bigger one, which was way too big, so I just went with this little one. And then, of course, we have the shotgun condenser, which is in the sink right now. So I built this because of its versatility. It could be a pot still. It could be a rectifying still. Could have just a simple little rationing rings in the column. It could do all sorts of things. And it could do varying styles of alcohol for me. The keg itself, being stainless steel, can withstand a fair amount of pressure, great temperatures. I learned how to do a lot of good welding on this, and I learned how to do some really shitty welding on this. So, yeah, it goes both ways. This taught me a lot. Now, I've also put a double thumper on this. You may have seen in the rum edition we did, I had a single thumper on, but I have done a double thumper with it. And if you're going to do a thumper, be cautious, and we can talk about that later. When you're getting into a thumper, you no longer have an open system. So essentially, if I blow air in here, it should come out the parrot. There should be no real restriction. It should be free flowing the whole way. That's the safest system you can get. If you put a thumper in, then you're sticking a tube below liquid. Now you have a closed system, and it's susceptible to some extreme possibilities. You can build up pressure easily. In that, you have an explosive possibility situation, so be cautious if you go with a thumper. You see it all the time on TV. They're running these glass mason jar ones now, and a lot of people are copying that. I do have issues. I do consider that somewhat dangerous, and the danger is not really worth it. If you're running a wood fire underneath it, then yeah, something like a thumper evens that temperature out and makes it a lot smoother. But if you're doing electric or hot plate, that sort of thing, then you really don't, in my opinion, need a thumper. An open system's great. I do have a caveat there. I do believe that a thumper infused with a certain flavor makes a superior rum better than you can with a column. And that's the only time I'm considering using a thumper, is when I'm doing a rum, because I really want that thick, I want it oily, and I want it just coating my tongue. So, and I'm so far, I've only been able to get that out of using a thumper. The other thing with a closed system is it's not just dangerous while you're running. As soon as you shut it off, especially if you have copper, if you're running a copper system, disconnect it the second you shut it off. Get some gloves on, be safe, disconnect it, make sure you open it up, because it takes very little time. You'll see that in a previous video where I was actually using the thumper. I had shut the electricity off for not even a minute, and I had a huge vacuum in here. So if it would have been a copper still, that would have actually imploded the copper. I'm pretty sure that the keg is quite strong, so it could put up with a fair amount of pressure. Plus, on this keg, I also had a pressure vacuum release valve. So it was fairly safe. That condition was in there, so that was just to protect myself. So what still's best for you? Once again, you look in your liquor cabinet, that tells you what you need, and then look at the designs out there. If that copper still is really caught your eye, you just want that pot still, you want that copper in there, great, go for it. Good little units, simple, most of the time quite safe. But as we grow and we try different things, yeah, for me, even my moonshine, I would never do my moonshine without 3 plates. I'm not a big fan of the pot still in the flavors that I can get out of there. I like to clarify it a little bit more than what I would get out of a straight pot still. Or if I use a pot still, I'll tend to do stripping runs and then do a spirit run. So do 3 or 4 stripping runs, cut the spirit down to 40% alcohol, throw it back in, run it again. And that'll clarify it enough to be a little drier and a little more to my style of drinking. So that's this. Now remember, what I paid for this, I could have gotten this. Alright, so that little 50-liter keg still you saw, 53 liters. In buying the pieces, buying the metal, doing the welding, doing all the work myself, buying the controller, everything else, I built the controller, but buying all the parts for it and all that. It took me a few months, a couple months, and when I added up all the bills after for all the fittings, everything else, there's no value put on the learning, and so I don't suggest I'm not saying don't build one. What you learn into it, how you know you're still when you're done, it's priceless. It's worthwhile. But for what I paid to build that little still, I could have bought this one. Wow. Okay, so this is a Bain Marine. So what that means is I don't have any elements in my mash. My elements actually go, the pot still stops down here. Below that is an open area. So, and as well as this is a jacket on the outside. Loaded with vegetable oil. Some people can use water, steam, that's fine. This one's also fitted to hook into my boiler, so I can actually run steam into it and run it out as well. In the bottom and the top. No, on this steam, sorry, in the top, out the bottom, it's a condenser. So in that, I could run my boiler into this, but this one is a Bain Marine. It's hooked up for electricity. There's two elements going back into an oil bath, and the elements heat up the oil, which then heat up what's in here. So I don't actually scorch anything. It's far better. This one, I added the mixer motor to it. I added the copper helmet to it. I have a temperature probe here. I have a little light in here so I can see what's in there, especially when the motor's spinning. I've got a bunch of other fittings into here, which are kind of nice. It is considered a milk can style of still. And I've got my 4 plates here, temperature probes, my deflagonator goes up and over. I have a gym basket that goes there, and then that comes down to a parrot or condenser and then a parrot. So a shotgun condenser and a dual parrot. Superior product of mine, by far. You know, in the way it operates, in the way it looks, in the beauty of all the welds. And it was, you know, this one was actually cheaper than what I paid to build my other one. So consider that. This is also a 4-inch column, whereas my home built one is a 2-inch column. So there are some really neat advantages here. So as you heard me say, and I'm behind the camera right now, as you heard me say, this is me going from knowing nothing to a full distillery. And everything I learned from Jesse at Stillet, George over at Barley Hops, and Bearded over at Bearded and Board, and a few other places, a lot of reading, a lot of classroom work, and diving in deep. Local distilleries that became friends, confidants, and educators have all led me to this point where I can actually be pretty proud of what I've gotten into. I had some headaches. This is still all just new. And right now we have, in the first fermenter, we have a corn mash. And it's a corn moonshine. So it's a 1 pound corn, 1 pound of sugar to water, to a gallon of water. Beside that, in that fermenter, is our oat shine. And that's the same recipe as the corn, only done in oats. And then the wheat is going into the next one. So, yeah, things grow. You know, here's the mash tun I'm using right now. That's 1,300 liters. But here's my old mash tun. And that's not going anywhere. I'm still going to use that. Now the Mash King has its own screen-in basket. Evidently there's my filter screen. But yeah, so this thing works beautifully. Now and this one here actually, not just for the grains, so you know, you've heard of brewing a bag. Well, there's my intent of brewing a bag. I also have the tube in here to make sure the grains don't, they get spurged out pretty good. That served me well. That's still going to serve me very well. It still has a lot of life it's got to do. So, none of this stuff goes to waste. It keeps getting used. There's the other little one. And you've seen those little fermenters. Yeah, we're going to be firing them up soon. Doing some work with them. These here, at this point, these are my catch totes. So when it comes off the parrot, it gets poured into these. They're also the mixer totes. Have a little mixer motor onto them, and that allows me to make my liqueurs and stuff. But these are also set up for future use. These can also be turned into double thumpers. So yeah, you heard me talk about thumpers. I'm not a big fan, but I am
I will be doing rum, and to me that's necessary. These are necessary for a rum. Although we'll see. I'm going to try and do a quick rum using a 4-plate column, and we'll see what I get out of that.
So that's it for now. Today was just a quick startup again of the channel. We're going to start and we're going to travel slowly through each step. Some of the decisions I made, some you have in front of you. Some of you already made these decisions and you know why you've done so. But for me, and the fact that I'm a lot further down this trail than when I was when I first started this channel, you were listening to me as I was learning. I will never stop learning. You won't either. We're all in this. We grow, new challenges, new experiences, new ways of doing things. But now I have a little more behind me and I can maybe explain things a little bit better. Maybe not. We'll see. But for now, this hopefully helps you on some of your decisions. I've watched a lot of people talk about what still you should be doing, and I've seen a lot of advertisement where buy mine, it does all this. Where really, I didn't yet to see anybody say, open your liquor cabinet. That'll tell you what you really need. So, do that. If you're just starting on this trail, do that. And if you have any more questions, give me a shout below. I try to get to you as soon as I can. I'm pretty good at it, but I am pretty busy too at the moment. We still have a lot of work here to do. We're not open yet. We're hoping to do that very soon. Please, and I've never asked this before, because now we're in the distillery, we're going to be seeing everything in that laboratory and out in here as well. Hit the subscribe and share us with your friends. Hit that like, let me know what you think, and throw some questions down below or any comment you wish. I'm glad to have you along. I'm glad that you still see me here still in Canada. Take care, folks. We'll see you again.